Hello everyone, this is Hammy, and today I got a short video. I meant to stream this on Twitch. Unfortunately, it was a little bit easier to fix than normal. So either it's easier to fix or I'm just getting too good at fixing these. So we have another Stern pinball board. This is for Starship Troopers. Symptoms were just continuously resetting. Same as the last board I had for the Twister. And I'm just going to go through the steps that I did on this to diagnose and repair. So this was equipped with a set of batteries along with a static RAM. So first things I did was I removed the CPU, the PAL, the EEPROM, and the RAM chip. I just inspected the pins on the CPU. I didn't test it. I inspected the pins on the PAL. They have been sanded. Someone had removed this. Normally this chip is normally built on the main board, but someone had removed the socket and had socketed this previously. This EEPROM has also been replaced as the label, and then the EEPROM also had significant sanding done on the side of it. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of hard, but someone had sanded the side of the legs. They're obviously, it was super tarnished. So I read the EEPROM using a EEPROM programmer, which is normally sitting over there. Oh, there it is. Enjoy the feet picks. Leg picks. Used a EEPROM programmer. This is a T56 by XECU. It's a Chinese programmer. However, they seem to be constantly updating the software, and I've really not had a problem with this, especially for any newer chips, such as a 27C128 or newer. Anything older, I use a Data IO. So the EEPROM was fine, and then I tested the memory chip using this cool little box here that I made from Retro Chip Tester 8bit-museum.de. This will test the RAM chips, and this test is at XX64, and it just kept telling me chip not inserted. So I tested it. I'm like, I can't get this to work. So I grabbed another one out of another board, tested it. It did work, had no issues. Actually, that was a good one. The bad one is in the dead chip bin. The bad chips. Yeah. Box of bad chips. So yeah, those are all in there. It was bad, so I put in a working one. The game started, worked fine, but and that's all it was. It was relatively easy, and this you can order online. This is relatively cheap. The EEPROM programmer, again, relatively cheap. These are just simple tools that you can buy that do this. I did not use my very expensive Fluke tester. I didn't use a logic probe. I didn't use a multimeter. Just used the simple couple, because in order for the CPU to work, it has to be able to read the ROM and write to the RAM. The next step would have been checking the DMD signaling, but it looks like someone had already replaced that chip as well. So that chip, I did pull it out and test it in my chip tester. They do have some generic chip testers you can buy for testing chips. However, I have one of these Chip Master Control ABI. They don't make these anymore. Wasn't cheap. These still aren't cheap. I bought this 15 years ago. BK made a version of it. I don't know who was the original. I don't know if it was, I don't know if ABI made it for BK or BK made it for ABI. The ABI unit was more available later. So I am thinking that ABI made them for BK. There is a way to hook it to a PC and update it with your own custom ICs, but nobody seems to know where that software is or obtainable. So, I mean, if someone knows where that software is, that would be cool, but no one seems to have any clue. Someone reached out to BK one time and just got nothing out of it. So I went ahead and did one of my Ramtron NV RAM mods. Remove the batteries. Batteries no longer required. So if I can hit reset, it'll just reboot. And I've already set it to free play, so you can see that it's gonna boot up in free play mode. I can turn it off, and no battery. If this is a normal board and you turned it off and then turned it back on, it would come up and say insert coin, but it will come up to the free play message. So this has been replaced as well, which is weird. This is not a RAM chip that ever came in a board, an IDT 6116. That's a very odd chip to see inside here. But that's it. So it's going to get boxed up and shipped back out. So there's some simple things you can do for working on a Stern Pinball WhiteStar board. This board had no acid damage. If it does have acid damage, it's usually going to leak down this side of the batteries, and it's going to take out this chip. This chip is usually always the first to go from battery damage. Also, the retention life of these chips are exceeding the life of what they were. So a lot of them are failing now, but there's easy. I can make these chips myself. I can make this chip. I can also make the chip that goes on this board, and then the newer boards. This board here, I can replace this chip and this chip. I don't have the code for this chip. It is not available, but I do have the code that you flash to this in order to replace it. You can't just put a blank one on here. It won't work. There is a special boot code that you have to flash this first before putting it on here. This has no code on it. Doesn't require any. This is my working spare board. Fortunately, it's just my working board. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. Just in case I ever get another Stern pinball machine that uses one that doesn't have a board, I'll have one. So it's my, I have it in case I get a cheap pen that doesn't have a board and the person doesn't want to spend the money to buy a new board for it. So I got the board. You can buy an aftermarket board. They now make this version in an aftermarket with an FPGA version of this chip. This chip is no longer made, but they do have a reproduction of this one right now. So you can reproduce this chip. So someone is now reproducing this board with a reproduction chip that does support putting the original BMST chip in it. So for this generation board, this one is 100% replaceable. However, this board only goes up to, I believe, Lord of the Rings. After Lord of the Rings, it has to go to this board, and this board is not reproduced. So this is a super rare, unobtainable board that the only way you're going to get it is out of another pinball machine. So that wraps it up. Wish I could have streamed it. Sadly enough, it was too quick of a repair to stream. I do have some possible boards coming in that needs to be fixed that I will probably be streaming. So hopefully I can get those up on stream. I also did get some cool stuff like an 8 Qual Scan 9-track tape recorder for the PC. So I might try to build a retro PC that boots from Pixie instead of booting from a compact flash card. So that will be a cool thing to do. I'll zoom in on that. So thanks again. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and enjoy the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If not, you can always also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Hammy Hangout. I generally am playing video games, but I do technically do streams of tech repair. So turn on those notifications and pay attention to the notifications, because I will say if I'm doing tech repair in the stream notification. So if you're not into watching me play video games, you don't have to watch me play video games. But I would hit the like and hit the follow and go from there.